This fly is the Mershon white, named for William B. Mershon, who was a lumberman in Michigan in the late 1800s. Here's a shot of a couple of people on one of Mershon's trips. They look like they're going on safari. Mershon and his friends used to travel in Mershon's own personal rail car to go fishing. And in 1898, on July 3rd and 4th, Mershon and 7 of his closest friends caught and kept 747 trout on the Au Sable. By 1903, Mershon had caught the last grayling, and I don't know if he ever made the connection between deforestation, overfishing, and the demise of the grayling, but he was a conservationist, and the first TU chapter is named for him. The hook I'm using here is a Mustad 3399 standard wet fly hook. Any wet fly hook will do. This is a number 10, and this fly was typically tied anywhere from an 8 to a 12. So 8, 10, and 12. This is golden pheasant tippet, just a few fibers. It's very easy to overdo the golden pheasant tippet. You could probably even go with fewer fibers than I've got here. I would say 4 to 6 fibers works pretty well for a wet fly tail with golden pheasant tippet. I watched a video once where a tyer had invented a fly. They'd only tied for a little while, maybe a year. They'd invented a fly and thought that golden pheasant tippet was very pretty and added a tail to the fly of a huge hunk of golden pheasant tippet. Unfortunately, the fly was a caddis. Caddis don't have tails. But so it was ill-advised. Let's put it that way. I'm going to work on the body a little bit here with some flattened thread, building a taper. I'm spinning the bobbin counterclockwise as if I'm unscrewing a light bulb in order to flatten it. And I'm just going to build up a little bit of a taper towards the front of the fly. Very often asked how many turns of thread before you have to flatten it again. And I don't know, I kind of go by feel. It's typically, 6 to 10 turns. I want to flatten it again or twist it up again, depending on what I'm doing. In that ballpark somewhere. This is a single strand of Danville 4-strand white floss. Rayon floss, typically, not silk. I think I have some white silk, but a lot of these wet flies, once we got into the 1900s, a lot of them were tied with rayon floss. It was shinier. cheaper. Actually, before rayon, there was acetate floss. That stuff was a nightmare, let me tell you. Dropping this a couple of times. Trimming it. I've switched to black thread for the hackle and the wing, which are both dark. So I want dark underneath. And I like the strands of hackle to reach somewhere around the point of the hook when all's said and done. This doesn't have to be exact. It can be a little short, a little long. It's fine. Folding as I wind. Take one turn, keep the tension on the thread, and then pull the hackle stem forward. It'll help. You won't trap as many fibers when you go to cut the stem off. Still got a stray or two. And I want to bind this down into a beard pretty well. I definitely want beard hackle on this. This is I'm in the style of the Ray Bergman version of this fly from Trout. I'm sure this hackle was done lots of ways. There is a fly called the Mershon. It's not the Mershon white, it's just the Mershon, and it's all black. Black tail, black hackle, and I will do a version of it as well. Maybe not in this video, I don't know. It might be a separate video for that one. You want the blue tinted fibers, feathers from a mallard wing to make the slips. The near is from a right mallard wing, and the far slip is from the left mallard wing. This looks pretty good. I like it. I'm going to put a couple more hard turns on here to tighten everything up. Now I'm going to wrap aggressively up the head to bind everything down. Whip finish. I've got a little bit of a shelf there, and I want to try to minimize that. I'm going to twist the thread up here and do another hard whip finish to try to solve that. Right there at that shelf, I want to try to, if not totally get rid of it, at least improve it a little. And it looks like this is going to do it. Got the thread. Now we'll glue this up, hump the wing a little bit, and see what we got. There you have the Mershon white. The blue feathers are always a little bit short, and they can be difficult to work with. It's nice if you have several pairs of mallard wings to select from. Have fun with this one.